So this is originally what my little Minecraft character for the Toast SMP looks like. Now, I don't think I've ever talked about the Toast SMP on here before, so a quick briefing. The Toast SMP was an SMP I was going to do with my friend who online goes by Tasty Toast. We had the server up, we had buildings, we had like stuff going, but I don't believe any streams ever got done. And like we had lore planned out, and my character's lore went from being a slight knockoff of a different character to being kind of her own thing, but not really. She also gets gender swapped like halfway through, so you'll see that. But this was like the first draft of how she looked. Then we got just like another drawing of her. Got some Rambu fan art. I don't like those drawings. I also don't like that drawing. We got Dreamin' George. I just like smeared the crap out of that. Wow. Oh, there's actually digital versions of like all of these character refs out in the world. And when I say that, I mean on my Procreate. But I'll show the digital versions of these alongside, because I don't think I ever posted them anywhere. But they do exist. They do exist. Got Tomei back when he had braces. Anyone remember that? I do. Tubbo. Let's see. Got there's a digital version of this too. I used like a random color palette to color it, but that's Tommy. Got more designs for Birdie. There's a redraw of my Tamaki drawings again. Apparently this is an OC that I created and abandoned. Got fan art. There is a digital version of that. I'm gonna blur out some of the things on this because that's a wee bit embarrassing. There's Birdie. There's Birdie again. Then I think this was supposed to be a lore scene. More Birdie. A drawing of Carl Jacobs. This is when I finally like properly start adding color to my art. Like I think I kind of did in the other sketchbook tours, but this is where I really start doing that. And there's Shocker, a drawing of Bird again, which I think there's a digital version of this somewhere. Hikari. I don't think she ever like really truly disappears. Occasionally I'll like remember her and be like, oh, I should go draw my good pal Mio Hikari. Tubbo and Rambu fan art. I found a little base for this on Pinterest, if I remember correctly. Ooh, I remember hating this when I drew it. I drew it in my, actually I don't know what class, but Carl Jacobs. Oh, this is supposed to be Dream if you were in My Hero Academia. I was gonna create a whole line and then I didn't. I got this from a Pinterest meme and also an animatic. There's like a drawing of the tube in London. I have a painting of this. Random stuff. My mental health at the time, apparently. This is the 21 Pilots, I think, blurry face hoodie that I used to wear all the time. Ooh, so I worked at a cherry plant for a summer, and I think my hours were like, I'd wake up at like 3 in the morning, and I'd work from like 4 to 12 in the afternoon. But during this time, I had to come up with like little things to think about to keep myself occupied. And one of the things I came up with was if me and my friends were in the Dream SMP, like in that storyline. So this is my friend Eliza in the Dream SMP, and her storyline that I gave her was she was a being of chaos created by Dream XD. And this was like kind of how she lived normally, but my friend was also like obsessed with eggs at the time. I had 2 friends who were obsessed with eggs. There's Eliza and there's this kid named Will. And Will was but a humble egg farmer on the SMP who then got dragged into the Eggpire arc. And Eliza was kind of like the instigator for the Eggpire arc. She became like a prophet of the egg, which is what you can see here. And you know she's evil because all of the blue on her character became red. And there's red vines. Yeah, she became like a prophet for the egg. And it was this whole uprising thing. Bird redesign. She gets redesigned a lot. I never have like a concurrent like drawing for her. That's just a drawing of me. At the time, I didn't actually wear chains, but like I wanted to, and then I bought some and I literally never wear them. I still have them. Little drawing. I was gonna make this digital. I don't think it was for Inktober. I forgot what it's from, but it's, as you can see, Tubbo and Tommy carving little pumpkins, and it's so silly and cutie pie. expression practice featuring bird. I think out of all the iterations of how I like drew bird in their outfit, this is probably one of my favorites. Like honestly, this drawing's like low-key kind of cutie pie. I don't hate that. More expression practice. We got Carl Jacobs. We got Rambu, purpled. I actually don't mind this drawing. I remember really liking it when I drew it. I don't think I've drawn purple outside of this time. Practice. This is what Birdio would have looked like in the Dark Charlie Woods SMP, which the Dark Charlie Woods SMP is a SMP that my friend Obvi Ace created. I never really knew the lore behind it. I'm gonna be so real. They tried explaining it a few times. It was very complicated. I never understood much, but we actually did a singular stream with me in it on the server, and I wasn't able to screen record it, which was really upsetting, but I do have some really shitty videos of me recording my laptop playing it, and they're just like little clips from it, so maybe I'll put some of those in here. Clip time.
Let me think. Do they smell good?
Yo, hi.
Hey, do you smell good?
Let's smell your feet. Wait, not.
Do you smell good?
Pardon? So,
Yeah. We should interrogate them and see if they are okay. There's certainly something, that's for sure. Okay, hello. You sound like a bird.
Are you a bird?
What do you mean I sound like a bird?
Your name.
You mean I sound like a bird?
You look like a bird. You sound like a bird because of your name. Are you a bird?
Are you a bird too?
Anyways.
Okay, you have secrets. That's cool. I have secrets too.
Haha, yes, I
Probably.
definitely don't have secrets.
To exist and cooperate, like collectively as a community.
We will definitely cooperate with each other.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know.
Why
about
did you
though.
choose this position?
What
Choose
position?
what position?
What position are you talking about?
What position?
What position
If
are
you could
speaking
pick
of?
one color to represent yourself,
you
what would it be? Yourself.
I can fall very slowly.
Do you want some chicken?
Wow.
No, I
do
definitely do
research
not.
Stuff.
You do awesome. We have this. We have a smart person. That's awesome.
Back up, I got a stick.
Not that. Here. Stop.
That could have been
Stop
my
that.
brother.
I'm never gonna stop making.
Birdie, come on, make a house.
You're gonna make a house together?
Yes, that is. Yes.
We're best friends, so probably.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's what best friends do. Not my fault. You're lonely.
Okay.
But yeah, very silly server. I had a fun time on it. There's more of what she would have looked like there. She had like little baby wings. Her lore was, I don't even know if her lore like fits with the server, but she's there. Her best friend is Blue Jay, and then she has like these little itty bitty wings that she's like hiding. She's like, I don't want to become an experiment. That would suck. And then at one point in time, from what I know, there's a fire of sorts, and she gets hurt in this fire. I think I have a reel, of like a lore reel from this server on my channel. I'll put it here, like a screenshot of it if it is. But just like Birdie on the Toast SMP, Birdie in the Dark Charlie SMP also gets gender swapped. They are both men. There's Eliza's little Minecraft design. Again, if she were in the Dream SMP. But little Michael and Shroud. These are kind of cutesy. Then we got, I was testing out different colors. Here's another sketch of bird. And guess what? Another sketch of Birdie holding a sword, because I'm actually really shit at Minecraft. I'm so bad at it. This is Will, the humble egg farmer from the If My Friends Were in the Dream SMP. He just farms eggs, and that's what he does. Got This was me planning out my Phil's a Minecraft Halloween costume. That's right, chat. I was Phil's a Minecraft for Halloween. There's Birdie with lore. Oh yeah, this was like a little AU I was making of me and my friend, where we were royalty and we were siblings, and the land we lived in was Nefaria. It was fancy. Oh, this is fan art for the fanfiction Passerine, based off of the Dream SMP. Me and my friend were reading Passerine together. I would read it to her, and we just sit on my bed. It was very nice. It was very cozy. It was fun. But I'm gonna be so real with you. I love this drawing so much. Like, the colors feel so fun, and I'm really I say this like my art has progressed a lot, but for how my art was at the time, I was so proud of this, and honestly, I still am, because this is so it's just so cutesy, and like I really love how Sally turned out. I feel like she was like a farmer or something in Passerine. I forgot, but I turned her into a sailor. I don't know if she was a sailor in Passerine, but to me she is. And this is like her and the like main guy from, well, I guess Techno is like the main. I'd say Techno is the main character of Passerine. I guess there'd be like two main characters, but this is Sally and the other main character in Passerine, and I think they're so cute, and I love the background. I genuinely love this drawing like so much. Anyways, there's Birdie. That's Bird, and that's my friend Nox. At the time, I think their username was Pandora, but I'm pretty sure it's just Nox now. That's Nox. Yeah, Pandora at the time. Part of the lore for the Toast SMP. Sorry I'm doing so much rambling about random lore things today, chat, but I'm gonna keep doing that. But part of the lore for the Toast SMP was Birdie, like, it follows the same pre-life system that the Dream SMP does. So Birdie's first life is lost during a war, because the whole premise of like the first arc is that there's a war between hybrids and humans, because humans are like incredibly racist towards hybrids, and Bird is a hybrid, and like the majority of our main characters like are all hybrids. So there's that war. Bird dies during the war. At one point, that's the first life lost. I forgot how Bird lost their second life, and then their third life was accidentally taken in a fight between Toast and Bird. And then Pandora is like the Techno to Bird's Phil, is kind of how I would describe it. And Pandora like scoops Bird up and does everything in her power to bring Bird back to life. But in the process, something goes awry, and Bird gets stuck in this like half-dead, half-alive state, where they're kind of like a ghost, but they can still believe. They can't die again, but they still feel pain. And it's like a very weird and unpleasant existence for Bird. And I never really solidified how Bird gets out of that state, but eventually Bird reconciles with Toast, and they make up, and Bird is no longer a ghost, but back alive. Yeah, and because the original concept was that Bird would just sort of die and become a ghost. The being like revived and being in limbo part, being in like that space in between life and death, came later in the development. But here's a little drawing. I honestly really like this drawing. I think it's cute, but it's Pandora and originally Ghost Bird. More saddest animatic draws for practice. This is a drawing of Arson. They were a member on the Dark Charlie Woods SMP. There's Arson again, that time colored. Here's Ghost Bird. After the gender flip. There's Ghost Bird again. At one point in time, there was a concept that Ghost Bird cries ink. There's Ghost Bird again. Here's kind of what Bird would look like throughout the server. Look, they die, and they come back to life. As you can tell, I took heavy inspiration from another character that existed on a different SMP. It's okay, I change it later. Yeah, no, can you tell it's just a blatant knockoff? Chat, I was so uncreative. There's Bird again with the quacky face. There's Bird again, and Bird again, because I was trying to rework their character, and Bird again. And there's Bird again, looking like a complete knockoff. And there's a drawing of me, and I don't know who that is, but he exists. This is a page that I did with my bestie Lemon, that we both drew on because we got bored. Apparently this is an OC I had. I think I draw him one other time. Practice, Tommy, Shroud. Oh, I have hiccups. More Dream SMP Tommy fan art. Okay, moving on to this second sketchbook. Really starting off strong. There's a drawing of my friend in the cosplay I first met him in, which was Fundy. There's Tommy design. Apparently a Dream XD. There's Bird again. There's Bird again. practice. I thought this guy was really cutie. There's apparently the 1OC again. I did draw him more than one time. There's a whole page of Quackney drawings. There's Nikki. I think this was my first post on Twitter. Another drawing of Bird after... This was like a pretty solid design for Bird for a while. In fact, this image here was once upon a time part of my stream setup and my stream screens. Then there's... Oh, this was me trying to plan out screens for my stream. I am never going to use these designs. It is way too complicated. There's a digital version of this guy out here. I forgot how he was created. We get the dragon worm snake character brought back. One day I'll give him a name. I'm giving him a name right now. His name is Clarence. Oh, this is an AU, as it says, where Tommy and Tubbo swapped. I actually have some digital art of this somewhere. There's a little drawing of Tommy. Cutesy. Just like some little sticky note drawings. These were sticker ideas that I wanted to sell on Etsy, I believe. There's a digital version of this. This is a little piece of fan art I made. There's a digital for it. There's this one song using my friend, I'm trying to remember his username right now, Vash Cosplay? Something like that. It's a swallow shampoo, probably gonna die, it smelled like fruit, that was a lie, called the number on the bottle, spoke to a guy. Oh, this was a remake of Miyu Hikari, you know the one. This was a little remake gender flip of her. This is a drawing of Addison Grace. It was supposed to be fan art for, I think it's called Things That Are Bad for Me? No. I forgot what the album is called, but I'll put it on screen. It was for this album. Then there's art of techno. Yes, here's more. Here's more. And there's, oh, all of these I drew out with marker before I went through with the pen. Then there's drawings of me and my friends, but if we were in a universe where we were like different creatures. Starting off strong with drawings of Benson, Tubbo's little duck lamp. Love it. Ooh, some things that I cut out from my assignments at school. A drawing of Awesome Dude. I didn't even know I drew him ever. This was for a animatic I made. Oh, this might have been for the perfume animatic I made. Bird and Blue Jay on the Dark Charlie server, which I think is really cute. There's a digital version of this somewhere. Why is Brother's head so big? Oh, these ones were done by Lemon. Very silly. Oh, and then of course we have the horse version. Oh, this was kind of the redesign for Bird on the Dark Charlie server. So this is what they would have looked like. They got a scar on their hand, apparently. They wear this little heart pendant that ends up getting destroyed at one point, and then Ace like pieces it back together, and it's very meaningful. This is for a little animatic video I did. It's either on TikTok or YouTube somewhere, I don't know, you can go find it. I think this was my D&D character. Yeah, these are drawings of me and my friend's little D&D characters. And his full name, he's a bard. He's a bard, but his full name is Renifern, but he goes by Ren. And he's a little bard guy. More stuff for that little animatic. We're on to the last sketchbook of this sketchbook tour. And it starts here. There we go. Also was a post on Twitter at one point. Ghost Boo, I did actually watch that bit live. This was concepts for Bird in the Toast SMP. More concepts for Bird on the Toast SMP. There's at a point where Ghost was at. So kind of the transition that we had in the ideas for it was first, Bird would die and be like this little happy ghost that doesn't remember much. The second one is Bird is a ghost and remembers all of the negative things that happened and is just raging and angry and yeah, just angry and mad all the fucking time. And then it switches to the trapped between life and death in a very uncomfortable state. That's kind of like the progression of that. Vent art. Oh, this was lore for a country that was totally a ripoff of Lamamberg that me and my friend, I don't think she has an online username, so I think her Spotify username is like Lovergirl or something like that. So I'll call her Lovergirl. But we used to sit by this tree after school where we wait for the bus for like 20-30 minutes. And so we made a country based around it called Wendishire. And the name Wendishire came from the fact that none of us can pronounce Worcestershire sauce. So it's called Wendishire. There's some fan art of Dream SMP Tabo, except I don't know how to draw hands. This is the lore for that one little family of me and my friends that I was telling you about. And these are little chibi drawings. More Half-Alive fan art I ended up hating. My friend made a warrior cat character called Butterbite. Ghost version of Bird when they were in that I want to die and I hate everyone. More Bird concept art. This person that I saw in Hobby Lobby once, smeared quackity. I don't know who that is. Bird concept art. Apparently an OC I made. This was an attempted timeline of Bird, which I don't want to read over this right now, but I can guarantee parts of this, if not all of it, is heavily retconned now. More Bird lore that is probably very heavily retconned now, but you can pause to read that if you so desire. I think this is supposed to be a drawing of Rambu. Yeah, drawing Rambu, and then you got like the little allium flowers. Slay. Drawing of Bird as a ghost and apparently crying ink. Another drawing of Bird. There's a drawing of some Dream SMP stuff. Gender swapped Hikari again. A little hero AU I was making with Tommy in it and his gang. Vent art. There's a digital version of this George Not Found drawing.